Hey guys, Ivan here. So Sheru Classic France. As I promised, I deliver a video about this show. There was no live stream, which is actually a great thing for me and this channel. I got some awesome footage, really high quality footage, and we can actually see what exactly happened in this show, how these guys looked. And first, we got a posing routine of Nathan Diasha, and we can take a look at his physique and what he brought to this stage. And like I said in my previous video when I was watching his posing a couple of days before the show, he seemed a little bit worse than he did for the past couple of shows, and it showed on stage actually. So he wasn't as flat, as small as he was in that video. He definitely improved a lot, but there were issues with his physique. It wasn't the perfect peak. It definitely was worse than both Spain and Italy. Conditioning wise, fullness wise, it just wasn't the best Nathan Diasha we saw, and if Regan competed here at this show and he peaked well, he would probably beat Nathan. I mean, actually beat him, not like in Spain, but actually he would beat him, I think. Because the first thing that pops to my eyes here is Nathan's legs. Definitely very off, watery, like really watery, and I guess because they're watery, they don't look dry and hard and full, and they look small. I would say they look watery and flat, but I'm guessing they're not flat, they just spilled over. He probably overcarbed, and because they're watery, they don't have the pop, they don't have the conditioning, they don't create the illusion of fullness of size. I am assuming, I don't know, but they definitely do look small and not conditioned. This is definitely not a good look for Nathan Diasha, especially compared to two previous shows we saw him at. He was probably aware of the issues, so he wasn't really showing his front side too much in the posing routine. He very quickly turned to the side. From the side, it looked better. You can still see that something is off, but it was better. From the back, also, much different story. You can see that his glutes are definitely really conditioned, his back as well. But there was less of a pop. I don't know what the hell happened here. Maybe it's not a peaking issue. Maybe he just wore his body off too much from doing all these shows and being in shape for so long. His body is probably too tired, and you can only peak for a certain amount of times if you do back-to-back shows like this. So I'm guessing it's kind of a bit of both, like a peaking issue because his body was too worn off, right? So it wasn't able to peak. And you can definitely see it in the quads and in the abs too. They were definitely washed out. You couldn't really see the separation, the depth. He was obviously holding water in those quads and in those abs. And there is another thing, like if you try to dehydrate yourself, you can't do it forever. Like your body will catch up with what you're doing, especially if you're doing it too close together like he's doing week to week. So eventually, I mean, at this show, obviously, he wasn't able to bring out that dryness, that depth of the separation, that crispiness, and the fullness at the same time that he was bringing before, which is normal. But hey, he won the show, he won the France, he won the Sheru Classic. Why? How? Well, there was nobody else that could stop him. So in the first call out, you had Tim Budesheim, who forgot to put a tan on. You had Roman Fritz, who looked good. Roman figured it out, like he's always pretty much the same lately. He doesn't really miss the peak. And Theo was there as well, but I don't know, I don't really like his physique too much, especially because the way his legs look. I think he lacks the size, the sweep on them. The structure is just not really that great. So, like, Nathan, yeah, he won all these shows, man. Like, how many shows at this point? Like, over 10 shows. But as you can see, the competition that he is going against, it's not really the highest quality of the competitors. I mean, these guys that he's battling against would probably not even crack the top 15 at the Mr. Olympia. And Nathan is like a top 8, top 10 material. I think he would be up there if he peaked right, if he brought his absolute best. So he's battling against these guys who, you know, can't really fight against him. So even if he's off, all the way off, like he basically was at his show. I mean, not really totally off, but he was definitely not his best. He was like 70% of his best maybe. He still wins because he's so much better than all of them. Again, if Regan was here, it wouldn't be an easy win for Nathan. Actually, Regan could challenge him, but no, these guys, no. So he won this show deservedly. As you can see, he's pretty much winning every single pose here because he is on a different level. He's a different caliber of a bodybuilder. These guys looked good, except for Tim, who forgot to put a tan on. I don't know what the hell he did, but he was too pale. But his conditioning was good. Like, he was full, he was conditioned. He's known for being really shredded. I mean, especially this season. Roman, once again, Roman figured it out. Whatever he's doing, he is peaking. Like, every time for the past, I don't know, like 5 shows, he's always pretty much the same, which is great. So thankfully, finally, Roman figured it out. Like, usually before, he would be too flat. He would rarely come in at his absolute best, as big as full as he could be. But now it's no longer the case. Now he maximized his potential, basically. And this is about it. Like, can he progress even more over the years? Yeah, I think he can grow a little bit more muscle. But he's already like, I don't know, 270, I believe, on stage. So he's really big. Still, he looks like he needs more size. And I think that's like a structural thing more so than anything else. But I'm a huge fan of Roman Fritz. I'm sure most of you guys are as well, because this guy has no quit in him. I mean, this guy doesn't give up. Like, he has been trying to figure it out for so long, and he's doing these shows even though he's qualified for the Mr. Olympia. And this guy like trains twice a day and eats like an enormous amount of food. He's doing all it takes to make progress, to do bodybuilding successfully. He loves it too much. He had a double hip replacement surgery, and he was back in the gym, I think, a couple of months after that, and like next year he competed, and he did really well. So like, because of his persistence, I love this guy. I'm a huge fan of Roman Fritz, but if we're being honest, his structure, I don't think I can see him cracking the top 10 at the Mr. Olympia ever, but even if he's just up there, top 15, top 20, that's still like top 15, top 20 best bodybuilders in the world. And if he keeps competing this often and he does these shows and he wins 1 or 2 here and there, and he is against all these top pros and he does so many shows and he keeps progressing, I'm gonna be a huge fan of Roman Fritz, that's for sure. I know he's gonna have a ton of fans and he will be remembered in bodybuilding history, no matter how well he does at the Mr. Olympia. So once again, guys, this was your top 4. Actually, Theo placed 2nd, Tim ended up in 3rd, and Roman was 4th, unfortunately, but I think he deserved it. It was a good judging here. I'm pretty sure Nathan is going to call it a season because there are no more European Mr. Olympia qualifiers left. There is one in the US, Legion Sports Fest, and I don't think he's going to be there because he can't travel to the US because of the legal issues, so we won't see him at the Mr. Olympia most likely. And that's probably going to do it for this season from Nathan Diasha. Hopefully we'll see him next year, winning these small shows, taking that money back home, and never being able to travel to the US and do the Mr. Olympia, which is really stupid, I gotta say. There are a couple of great bodybuilders who just can't go to the US and compete at the Mr. Olympia. I mean, there is him, there is Behruz Dabani. We had an issue with Hari Chopin for so long. There are guys in 212 as well who can't travel, who would do really well. So, it is what it is, but yeah, unfortunately that's how things are. Whatever you guys think about this show, about Nathan Diaz or Roman Fritz or whoever, tell me in the comment section down below. And that's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and see you soon, guys. All the best and bye-bye.